107 Live is Classic 107's intimate concert series, brought to you by Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.
And welcome to Birchwood Jaguar 107 Live Holiday Edition. In the studio with me is Steve Bell. Steve Bell is a songwriter, storyteller, and troubadour for our time. And over the course of a 25-year solo career, he's been sharing a message of love, hope, and faith through songs, stories, and writings. He's performing on Tuesday, December 12th at Centennial Concert Hall. Seems to be an annual thing these days with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. It's a concert called A Journey Through Advent, Nativity, and Epiphany, Steve Bell and Christmastide. And he's here to join me in the studio this morning for Birchwood Jaguar 107 Live. Morning, Steve.
Morning, nice to see you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man. We've known each other for a while now, and it's nice to see you here in the studio, so thank you for coming in.
I'm glad we're both kind of at this at one point, at some point.
We're still at it. We're still at it.
Yeah.
Still crazy after all these years, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to play us a song before we get into chatting.
Yeah, I'll start with, there's a simple little kind of folksy kind of song. Typically, I'd have my audience sing along, but...
I'll sing.
You go, repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
Love is our way to God, for God is love. Love is our way to God, for God is love. The wilderness road of shame is gone. The desert road of dislocation gone. The stony road of loneliness has now become a royal way, a highway home. Love is our way to God, for God is love. Love is our way to God, for God is love. And all who carry disappointment come, and those who fear the fire of judgment come. And you who teach this royal way is not for some. Shame on you. Now lovers come, 'cause love is our way to God, for God is love. Love is our way to God, for God is love. Love is patient, love is kind. Love pays ill, no, never mind. Love refines the finest gold, the charity of saintly souls. The only thing left for us to do is love. If this alone be done, it is enough. And as we love the other, God abides in us. God unseen, but seen in love. Love is our way to God, for God is love. Love is our way to God, for God is love.
Nice.
Thank you.
Steve Bell classic, I think. When is that one from?
That's off the new album.
That's off the new album.
Now, Where the Good Way
Why
Lies.
does it sound? It sounds like something you've sang 100 times. I can just
every once in a while you write that song that sounds like it's been around for a while, and those are the fun ones, yeah, and it's probably because you ripped it off of somebody. So.
Off of yourself, maybe.
Do you know what? Actually, this morning I heard a song on the radio.
Yeah.
It was a Christmas song, and the melody line is so close to a song I wrote years ago. Now I'm very concerned about it because I had to go research who wrote it first. I don't think anybody's going to sue me because I haven't made any money off of it. But it was kind of funny how you just hear this melody and I'm going, oh my goodness, that's my melody. And I'm very sure this person has never heard my music. Right, and I'm very sure this came after the song. So you we're working with 8 notes and their half tones, and melodies are going to sound familiar after hundreds of years of songwriters, right?
Well, I remember there was a survey, done back in the 60s or 70s about when we'd run out of music. There's this theory as to when we run out of music, but I'm not sure that's ever going to happen.
I don't think it's ever going to happen,
No.
but I honestly think in terms of creative process, I think we're not really, we don't create out of nothing. Like music exists, word exists, notes exist. We're gardeners. We don't sort of call something new into being that has never been heard before. It's like a gardener doesn't call a seed out of nothing or a flower, but they get to choose where it goes, right? And that's what we are as musicians, I think, is we're gardeners. We get to choose where the notes go in what order, but they don't originate in us, yeah.
So where are you finding inspiration these days?
You know what? I find a lot of inspiration just by, we talked earlier about I'm a morning guy, and I get up in the morning and I read, and I'm a big reader. And so I find reading sort of gets me into that kind of that thoughtful space. Reading helps me get into that, that interiority that all of a sudden you realize you have an emotion or a passion or a feeling or a thought that may not have come to surface if you'd just been running around doing errands all day. So I do guard morning a lot. I spend 2 or 3 hours reading and just being quiet. So a lot comes from that. A lot comes from my own faith, of course. People know that I'm a person that comes out of Christian faith, so a lot of that. And then like world events, I travel. And traveling does sort of tend to give you an empathy for places and people. Because when you don't travel, unfortunately, you can sort of, other people in other lands just are other.
Yeah.
And it's sort of very easy not to be concerned about world events. But because I do travel, I see a newscast and I say, I've been there, and I know a person with a name, and it kind of, and so those things inspire you to write.
Well, it personalizes things as opposed to seeing it from with a screen in front of you. You have no connection, and it's such a distant way to see the world and live in this world.
And with our modern technology, we have access to the world, but it's not personal access. Right, and so it's easy to sort of have very, very biased opinions or uncaring opinions. So travel is kind of a nice thing to do, in the sense of arousing empathy, and as an artist, empathy also arouses then songs.
So are you when you travel and do you check out concerts and music from other cultures and stuff like that when you do, or if you can? Yeah.
Well, the problem with is that usually when I'm traveling, I'm performing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't get a whole lot of nights off, say if I'm in India or something. But every once in a while you get to, or you meet somebody that you can have coffee with and go and hang out at their house and hear their music and their tunes. So yeah, you do pick up things here and there. A lot of times you're more picking up the ambience of a culture. What's important to them, or you just hear radio. If you're traveling through India on a bus, which I've done for days on end, and they have this music blasting through these
pounding and
little
blaring.
speakers, and after a while it starts to get under your skin in a neat way.
Yeah.
Like and it's not like I'm suddenly writing music that sounds like I've been to India. But
I don't see a sitar here.
But it does. All those things do go into your musical landscape that you draw from in your songwriting, for sure.
Let's talk about this concert you got coming up with the WSO.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to it. I've done this. I think this is my 10th concert. I think with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra.
It's been 10 years, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. Like it's we did several around Manitoba with the symphony a few years back.
Okay.
So it hasn't been 10 in Winnipeg, but I think it's been around 10. Yeah, it's fun. It's all this stuff just with 70 wonderful musicians behind me, and symphony. Symphony takes you to a place of sort of awe or majesty or whatever that you can't really get through any other medium. Like you kind of have to be there. It's about. You got 70 people all at the top of their game, all playing the best instruments that have ever been made in the world, all submitting to one score, all sort of giving up the self to doing this thing together. And there's something just really inspirational about that. Symphony, right? It's the word itself sort of suggests, so the music is excellent in the sense that we got great arrangers and these are great players and stuff. But I think it does more than just that. It says something that's true about us as human beings that you can only kind of when you experience it, you kind of go, I get it. Like there's something that really beautiful happens when people bring their best to a common thing. So
what are the highlights of this year's symphony concert? It's a little bit different.
Well, a little bit different. Some of the same songs we've done for years, but I'm bringing Malcolm Guite. He's an English poet, and I'm currently on tour with Malcolm Guite across Canada. He's an English poet, and he's brilliant. And he and I have written a lot of songs together. I met him at a C.S. Lewis conference in England several years ago. And so we become fast friends, and his sort of poetic intuition really sort of fits my musical intuition, and so we've written a lot together. But he's coming across Canada on tour with me, and we just sit on stage and riff off each other. He'll tell a story and read a poem, and that'll make me think of a story in a song, and that'll make him think of a story in a poem. And we kind of go folk festival style all night long. Nothing is planned.
Yeah.
And we just kind of jazz all night on each other, in a sense. And it's lovely. He's such a brilliant poet. His poetry is accessible. It's profound, but it's accessible. And people find that they actually like poetry. And I think we need this. I think we need to be awakened again to beautiful language and excellent speech. We become rather crass in our culture, and I can be as crass as anybody, but if we lose beautiful language, then we lose access to beautiful things. So I think it's really important.
Yeah, I think in our culture where everything is done shortened, all the words are shortened, and you're allowed this many characters, this many words.
It's technological. It's shortened. It's efficient. Our language has become precise and efficient, and that really suits certain ends, but it doesn't suit a lot of things.
It doesn't flourish.
It doesn't flourish, exactly. And flourish is a great word, because language has the ability to create in each other worlds that weren't there before. I mean, I can, if I use my words properly, and if you cared about what I thought, I could use words and shrivel you, or I can use words and magnify you.
Do that. Magnify me. Don't shrivel me. Magnify me.
You know what I mean? Or flourish you, right?
Yes.
And we've. Or we could just say this relationship doesn't matter, but we need to be precise because we've got 3 minutes left, and bang, 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 bang. And so technical language and efficient language has sort of taken over in our sort of day and age. And when it's needed, it's great. But we also need the language that's flourishing, that opens worlds out for people.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, for sure.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I'm in the studio with Steve Bell. We're talking, about him, about his music. Talking about his Christmas concert coming up with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, Tuesday, December 12th at the Concert Hall. And it's called Christmastide, Steve Bell Christmastide, a journey through Advent, Nativity, and Epiphany. And Steve, along with Mike Jansen and Malcolm Geit, Ray Hotoda's coming back to do conducting.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
Lovely to see her coming back.
I love her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of my favorite people in the world, and we've done 30 symphony concerts around North America together. So we always bring her.
Yep.
And she brings a grace and a musicality that's quite unique to Ray Hotoda. And so it's lovely to have her again. She's become a good friend.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's have another tune. We're going to play us. You're listening to the holiday edition of Birchwood Jaguar 107 Live. Steve Bell in the studio.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago. Our God, heaven cannot hold him, nor earth sustain. Heaven and earth shall flee away when he comes to reign. In the bleak midwinter, a stable place sufficed. The Lord God Almighty, Jesus Christ. What can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would give a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. What I have, I give him,
Sound great, man. Sound
That's
great. It's a real treat. Yeah, a real treat to have you here.
Thanks, mate.
Steve Bell, he's performing with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. It's called Christmastide, A Journey Through Advent, Nativity, and Epiphany, December 12th, Tuesday. Concert hall. Go to wso.ca for information and tickets. And it looks like a great concert along with Mike Jansen, Malcolm Geit, Reiho Toda, and the whole Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Yeah. Oh, yeah, them. The whole Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, they're so good.
Good backup band, man.
Yeah. No,
really
I've had worse backup bands.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, Steve.
Thank you so much.
Listen, best of luck in the show and have fun.
Okay, well, it will be fun for sure.
107 Live is Classic 107's intimate concert series, brought to you by Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.